Hi everyone, welcome to the first video on the new channel, Abstract Boxing and Stuff. I want to thank everybody who has subscribed. It's taken me a little while to get this together. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with regards editing, uploading, etc. And so what I've basically done is how this is going to go I don't even know. I'm just like chucking everything into iMovie using an iPad, and we'll see. So basically, obviously up and coming, we've got British Beef, pretty decent marketing tactics there. British Beef, well done Eddie, salute. We've got Lawrence Okolie versus Isaac Chamberlain. Okolie 7-0, Chamberlain 9-0. A lot's been said about sort of like Chamberlain's experience, which I don't really get. He's like not really that experienced, and if you count Okolie's sort of like amateur background, actually you could actually say that Okolie's probably more experienced. I'll say straight off, I'm picking Okolie quite confidently to win this fight. He's the bigger man, quite some. I mean, he's about 6'5", I think. Okolie, he's a big cruiserweight. Isaac Chamberlain, on the other hand, I'm not sure he couldn't just shrink himself down to light heavy. To be completely honest, I think he's a small cruiserweight. He's kind of being billed as like the slick guy and this, that, and the other, and I don't know. I question that. Yeah, he's probably slicker than Lawrence Okolie, but I don't really see him as all that slick. To be completely honest, I don't really rate Isaac Chamberlain that highly. Look, he's a guy that clearly has a lot of heart. He's clearly got balls of steel. Yeah, the Camacho fight, where I think it was in the third round, his shoulder came out, and you could see his shoulder really did come out. You could actually see, you could see it. You can see like the bone stick kind of like protruding a little bit, and fair play to him. Him and his physio got it back in, and he went on, and that fight was a war. I actually thought he lost that fight, and even in those first 3 rounds, I thought Camacho was kind of winning that fight. And if you think of, I mean, like Camacho, he'd had about 4 losses leading up to that, you know. I think if you just look at these have a common opponent in Russell Henshaw, and if you just look at the way Russell Henshaw was dealt with by these guys, I think that kind of like illustrates the gap in levels a little bit for me. Okolie, I think he did him in the first round. I think he dropped him with a body punch. Literally every time Okolie was connected with him, Henshaw was visibly sort of like shrinking away. Okolie's by no means sort of like an amazing fighter or anything. He certainly has his flaws. He tends to give up his height and reach at certain times, and sort of like do things that I think are unnecessary. I think he's quite defensively open as well. Is Isaac Chamberlain the kind of guy that's going to be able to capitalise on those gaps in his game? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I don't think he's big enough at the weight. I don't think he punches hard enough, and I just don't really rate Isaac Chamberlain. It's a good fight. I'm quite excited for the fight. I don't see it as a 50-50 fight, but it is a competitive fight. I just, I like the whole beef, and the beef with this. I might try and do another video today because I've got a bit of spare time on some of the other things that have been happening in the sport of boxing recently. Some beef that seems real, some not so real. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, this is just serving as a kind of like a sort of like get the channel off the ground. Little bit of a kind of look ahead to this fight coming up at the weekend. Again, I haven't planned this video at all. I can't remember if I did say this at the start. If I did, I'm just gonna repeat. Really appreciate you guys bearing with me. Anybody that subscribed during either last week's or the week before podcast on Tom's channel, Boxing Gossip channel, quite a few of you guys, you know, jumped on and subscribed and supported the channel, which I really appreciate. Shout out to Boxing Gossip. Really kind of like made a real effort to kind of like shout me out and kind of like help me sort of like move the channel forward a little bit, which I really appreciate. It's a fantastic channel. It's one of the only channels I watched, even before I was part of the podcast. Tom was one of the few people that I actually like bothered to watch. So yeah, big shout out to Tom, big shout out to that channel. Ironically, it's Wednesday. Some of you will have noticed, and yeah, you're absolutely right. One of the main reasons I'm doing this video was because I thought I might get a little bit of stick in the comments tonight if I didn't. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with me to the end if you have done. If you've liked the content, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. Any comments you got, please drop them down below. Let me know what you think of the fight. Do you see this as a 50-50 fight? Maybe you see Chamberlain as winning the fight. Let me know what you think. And yeah, cheers guys.